What's up, jabroni? Steven here, and welcome to Smackdown Live, the show where I record for you guys live my Smackdown predictions, or not predictions, results, review, reaction. If you guys are in the chat room with me, we have a nice conversation. We get along. We do all this amazing stuff. Had some technical difficulties, so if anything looks weird or sounds weird, I apologize, but there were some weird technical difficulties that were happening, so sorry about the weird transition. I had to start the show over because I wanted to make sure I had the intro in there. But if you guys don't know, every Tuesday I do this, every Monday I do a Raw, and every Sunday I do the pay-per-views. Well, not every Sunday, but every Sunday there's a pay-per-view. I hit you guys up with that pay-per-view. SmackDown this week was an okay show. Make sure that you guys tune in tomorrow on the channel where I do SmackDown versus Raw, and we figure out which show won based on 5 categories that include, what are the 5 categories? Best matches, best promos, best storyline progression, best start, and best ending. We're going to figure out which show had the better of all of them, and that's how we're going to do that. Today we're going to talk about everything that went down on SmackDown. I don't know. I mean, like I said, it wasn't a bad show. It wasn't a great show. It was a pretty decent show. For it to be a go-home show, it set up some things going forward. It set up some things for No Mercy, which is this weekend. So I'm super on board with some of the things that it did set up. The best parts of the night were, to me, the Miz segment and Dolph Ziggler, and also the ending. As always, guys, if you guys are in the live chat room, make sure you guys comment below or chat with me. Let me know what you guys thought of the show. Let me know what you guys are thinking about what I'm saying. If you're watching this after that, make sure you guys comment below and let me know what you thought of the show. But let's get started. So the show starts out with sorry about that. The show starts out with Kane versus Bray Wyatt. So whatever, Kane versus Bray Wyatt. Kane beat Bray Wyatt, or the other, like at the last pay-per-view when Randy couldn't go. That was a dumb move, and here I was like, all right, this will probably be that Bray will win, because Kane hasn't been on TV in a while, so maybe they're not trying to push Kane anymore. But nope, during the match, Randy Orton showed up on the Titantron, started doing some weird shit, told Bray to follow him and find him and all this other bullshit. And Kane and Bray, just the match kind of ends in count out because Bray and just leaves the ring to go find Randy. There was some news that I just heard today about, like, I don't know, an hour ago. Eric Rowan is gonna need surgery, so he's gonna be out for a while. So that's awesome. So no Wyatts, especially since the rumor is that Luke Harper is going to Raw. So that kind of sucks. So Rowan's gone. I guess he got hurt at a house show. But nonetheless, Bray goes and tries to find Randy. Throughout the night, he's trying to find Randy. And when he finally does find Randy, or he finds a chair and he walks into a thing, and I guess Randy locks him in a storage unit or something. And that went on throughout the night, where Bray is kind of there. There's a camera in there, so we're seeing what Bray's doing. And let me see what I wrote here. So there was Bray's interactions in that room. For me, I wrote here, they were legit creepy. There were some very interestingly creepy moments throughout the segment with Bray and Randy. Towards the end of the segment, we're looking at Bray, but we can't see the other side of it. And Bray is constantly, he just keeps talking to himself in that room. Very creepy, very well done. And at one point he says, Sister Abigail, I've been waiting for you, or you're finally come, or whatever, or I'm ready to go home. And then Bray goes, and then Bray disappears. When Randy comes back, Bray is gone. And they have a match this weekend, so I'm assuming that's when Bray will show up. Will he show up with Sister Abigail? I think it might be time to debut Sister Abigail, because of the fact that there's no more Wyatts. There are no more Wyatts that they can use. Luke Harper's over on Raw, unless you're going to bring Luke Harper over to SmackDown. He's been clear. I don't know who debuts as Sister Abigail, though. Like, I don't know who we get to that. Maybe we just get a random girl with a mask. I don't know what we do with that. But it was an interesting segment. I enjoyed it. What else we got here? Next, what we had was a Carmella versus Alexa Bliss. Or no, my bad. Alexa Bliss versus Nikki Bella. But the match turned into a tag match because Carmella was on commentary. And I've just come to the realization that I don't like Carmella. And I think she's decent in the ring, but I have come to the realization that I just don't like Carmella on the microphone. When she opens her mouth, Like, I just can't stand it. I think Jersey Shore, I just think, oh my God, it's just so bad. It's so corny. She said some Kardashian wannabe. I don't know what it was. That it was like everything she says, I'm just not in for. I'm not into it. Whatever. I think she's getting better in the ring, but her character, I am not down with it. She always comes off feeling like a wannabe Enzo. But nonetheless, the match between Nikki and Alexa Bliss turns into a tag match because Alexa Bliss and Carmella start beating up on Nikki. Becky comes out. It turns into a tag match. Becky came out with her title running, and then she just threw it. It was weird. Not sure why she brought her title with her. But nonetheless, it turns into a tag match, and Alexa Bliss and Carmella go over, so the heels go over in this match. And this weekend, both of these rivalries will go into further whatever, because of the fact that Alexa goes against Becky for the title, and Nikki goes against Carmella. And Carmella keeps saying that she wants Nikki's career on the line or something. Whatever. I thought the match was fine. It was okay. Today on SmackDown wasn't really about the matches. So for what we got, I guess you can say it was a disappointment. But this continued their story, continued their little feud for both rivalries going forward. So I very much enjoyed it for what it was, of course. Let me see what else I have here. Bliss ends up getting the pin. Then we had a tag match, and a weird tag match, because we had the Vaudevillains versus the Hype Bros. Don't ask me why, but we did. I guess it's because the fact that these guys aren't doing anything while the other three tag teams are in major stories, and then these three tag teams aren't doing shit, or these two tag teams aren't doing shit. Throughout the match, the Ascension showed up and just kind of looked and watched. I think the Hype Bros went over. The Vaudevillains, I don't know. I don't get what SmackDown's doing, because you can do some fun stuff with the Hype Bros. You can do some decent stuff with the Vaudevillains. The Ascension, nobody cares about them anymore. But you can do decent stuff with the other tag teams. So I don't get why they don't do anything with them. Like, what's the point? Like, you guys that are watching right now, why do you guys think that they don't do anything with the Vaudevillains or the Hype Bros? Are they still punishing them? Is that what they're doing? Because if they are, man, that punishment is going on for a while for Simon Gotch or whatever. But this match was pointless. Didn't make any sense. It was fine for what it was, but it didn't do anything. Like, I didn't get it. It felt like a very superstar style match. After that, we had the Susan B. Anthony. The cancer segment where Daniel Bryan honored all the cancer survivors for breast cancer, because it's breast cancer awareness for the WWE, where they're wearing all the pink and everything. So super on board with that. It was super good. They did it on Monday with Enzo and Cass. Super fun. Super good moments. They're not fun, but they're good moments. They get the word out. On board with that. So here's the Hype Bros match. But by far the best segment of the entire night was the Miz and Dolph Ziggler, by far. So the Miz was on Twitter, and they were talking about that the Miz was gonna have a mentoring, where they were gonna go through Dolph's career. And holy shit, this thing was just running down Dolph like the worst. Like, it was making Dolph seem like a guy that never got big. Every bad thing about his career, the documentary talked about. It was awesome. It was true heel fashion. The Miz is like the shit right now. Like, I love the Miz right now. Like, I love the Miz. I've never ever liked the Miz, and I fucking love the Miz right now. So I'm super on board with that. Then what we got the Miz introducing some of Dolph's old friends, because what he introduces is he brings back the fucking Spirit Squad, or the two members, because he says that the other two members got lost when they got sent back down. And they're in the ring, they're doing the cheerleading, they're doing the whole thing, and they're calling Dolph Nikki, and it's a whole big thing. And it turns, and they start trashing Dolph, and they start like just talking about like if he loses to Miz, his career's over. He's gonna be on the unemployment line. Fun stuff. And then the Miz is just there, and the Miz, of course, being the Miz. Dolph gets mad. Dolph goes like after the Miz, and then he just gets beat up by the Spirit Squad, or the two members from the Spirit Squad. Then what ends up happening is Dolph turns the tables, and then Dolph gets his comeback and beats up the Spirit Squad members, and then he goes after the Miz, but the Miz runs away. I enjoyed the shit out of this segment. Like, I am loving, like, this is my second my second most anticipated match of this weekend. Like this match is like this match feels so important. Feels so important. Like I'm super on board for this. Next we had Jason Jordan versus Jey Uso. This was just furthering along the story of of the Usos being heels. Mauro Ranallo called them urban. What did he call them? The Urban Usos. He called them the Urban Usos. Talked about diss tracks and rappers. This is what we're talking about, Mauro. Like, what are you doing? Like what are you doing? Like, he got mad at people because they were calling him out on his commentary. Like, but still, dude, what are you doing? The match was fine. The match was entertaining. In the end, of course, the Jordan got the win. He got the victory, but the Usos, since Gable was on one leg, they went after Gable, then they went after Jordan, and they took out Jordan, and then out comes Heath Slater and Rhino to the rescue. And it told the story. It's kind of interesting that they've taken Rhino and Heath off TV, like primarily for the last couple weeks. So it has me worried as to what's gonna happen this weekend. But I'm loving the new Usos. American Alpha hasn't been really talking too much, so I'm super okay with that. They need to figure out their character has to be something besides we're just happy to be here. We're just happy to be here. They got to get rid of that. Apollo Crews, speaking of happy to be there, was nowhere to be found. We also got a match between Jack Swagger and Baron Corbin. Let's see if we can find a picture. And the match was pointless but decent. Didn't add anything. Really, it sets up a feud between these two. I'm guessing they have a pre-show match. I thought that Jack Swagger was going to have a different gimmick when he showed up on Smackdown with his whole fucking Rolling Stones bullshit angle that he was going for. But nope, he's still the We the People Jack Swagger. It didn't make any sense. He's the same guy. He ends up beating Corbin in like an interesting way. So Corbin was trying to reach the ropes, but he kept like missing the ropes and kept like his hand kept hitting the mat when Swagger had the ankle lock on him. And what happened was that the referee took that as Corbin tapping. So what I liked is that you made Swagger get a victory. He made him look strong, but you didn't make Corbin look weak because he didn't tap. I think that fits the story better. I think that makes both guys look a little bit stronger. Let's hope that this doesn't turn into the Titus Darren Young segment where we never get a payoff. It just goes away. Let's hope that this has a payoff. Let's hope that these guys fight at No Mercy, and let's hope it's a pre-show match, and let's hope they build something with this. We had Bray being captured by Randy, whatever. And then the night ended with Dean Ambrose, John Cena, and AJ Styles in the ring. Talking about, of course, hyping up this weekend's match, and it was a very entertaining end. Like, I really enjoyed it. AJ was being real when talking about all the stuff like about how he's the champ that runs the camp, he's the guy that runs the place, takes runs the place, all this stuff. I 100% enjoyed the shit out of it. Out comes Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose is mad. He's pissed. He's doing this whole thing where he's like being mad as hell, going at AJ in his face, talking about they cheated and that he used to have respect for him and all this other stuff. And then out comes John Cena, and throughout this whole thing, John Cena doesn't get a word in because every time John Cena is going to talk, either AJ or Dean Ambrose interrupts him. And then at one point, Dean goes on a rant and starts talking about that he knows everything that John Cena is going to say, and that John Cena is the same person, and that John Cena, he just goes in on John Cena. And John Cena's only words for the entire night were, talk is cheap or something along those lines, and he attacks Dean Ambrose. So John went on the attack, and he attacked Dean Ambrose, then AJ Styles got involved, or John throws AJ out, then he AA's Dean Ambrose, and then AJ gets the upper hand on John Cena. Then when AJ's on the outside leaving, Dean attacks AJ. All three men look pretty strong. The guy that came out on top in the end was Dean Ambrose. So I don't know what that means for this weekend, but it was a good ending. I enjoyed the ending. I thought it got a good story going forward, and all three members did a good job. So I don't know. I enjoyed SmackDown. I thought it was a fine show. So we got Ric Flair won more than 16 times. All right, but I don't know. It should be interesting. I don't see John Cena winning this weekend. If John Cena wins this weekend, he ties Ric Flair, right? He doesn't break it because he has 15. So he ties Ric Flair. Maybe he does tie here. I don't. It seems like a waste to have him tie in a triple threat match. I just don't get it. I don't see the point of that. Like you don't do that in a triple threat match. You let John Cena win it in like one-on-one matches. That's just how I feel. But yeah, that's pretty much SmackDown. I thought SmackDown was pretty good. Like I said, tune in tomorrow on the show. I'll do my SmackDown versus Raw, and we'll figure out which show ended up winning the entire thing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Be on the lookout for top 10 worst wrestling games of all time. I did my WWE games. Be on the lookout for underrated zombie movies. Be also on the lookout for I'm not sure what else I'm doing. I think I have like top 10 Halloween movies for kids. I got a couple top 10s that are on the horizon, but the underrated zombie and worst wrestling game. Oh, and best wrestling games also. That one might come out on Monday. The best wrestling games might come out on Monday since 2K comes out on Tuesday. But yeah, be on the lookout for that. I'm trying to do a lot more top 10s, get a lot more interactive on the channel. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this stuff. If you guys are in here and you guys still want to chat, stick around. But if you're not, I'm about to head out of here, hit you guys with the outro, and I'll be right back if you are staying for the after show talking. I'll be right back, all right? See you in a little bit.